back to my channel. I am Laura, and from Lola. Oh God, Lola Annabelle. That's really hard to say Lola. I don't think I've ever said it out loud too many times. Okay, so I am going to continue working on this. The lyrics are from the Rhododendron Song. I will link the video I found on YouTube down below. Today, we are going to be talking about lions and unicorns and the children's nursery rhyme that about lions and unicorns and the interesting symbology that when it was written and what it's most likely about. So, I am starting with the paint cocoa again and this tiny brush there to make sure that was clean. Okay. And I tried to fix the lighting situation. I don't think it worked. And it's also nighttime, so let's get started. So we are going to be starting, so the rhyme that is referred to is the lion and the unicorn. So it says, the lion and the unicorn were fighting for the crown. The lion beat the unicorn all around town. Some gave them white bread, some gave them brown, some gave them plum cake, and drummed them out of town. So that is the poem. And also, the reason why I chose this is, we'll probably get into it, is, as you know, the lion represents England, and Scotland's national animal is the unicorn. I should have gotten dates for this, but also all my resources will be linked down below as always. So, the first appearance of the unicorn is from James VI of Scotland when he became James I of England. And originally it was his, what is it called? His seal was of two unicorns flanking the seal. And unicorns are usually, in this regard, depicted with chains, because a free unicorn is fierce. So that's why. And so it got switched back. So when James came to kind of unify both kingdoms, he got rid of the Tudor dragon. So, if I read this correctly, so the lion has always been a thing. And so it was the lion, and oh gosh, I should have written this down, and it was the Tudor dragon. So when James came down from Scotland to rule as King of England, he took away the dragon and he replaced it with the unicorn and chains. I will leave a picture of a crest I found of this. So this, although this worked kind of temporarily, although, you know, people are people, some were not. It didn't make everyone happy, of course. But, you know, he tried. Let's give him that. He tried. So he did that, and it was kind of, the border between Scotland and England was an ASEC border. And so there was, they called them wardentry, and they control the border with their own foreign violence and all that and marches. So he called this the Middleshire, was a way. There was a civil war in England, the English Civil War, and between 1715 and 1745, the lion and the unicorn became symbols for the fight for the crown between the English and the Scottish. And it was kind of to symbolize James Stewart and his son the reclaim the crown for Scotland, or no, for the Hanovers. This guy, Albert Jack, suggests that the verse about bread and cake is about the popular support of James Stewart. Let's get into some symbolism. So, at least when I was a kid, the lion was it was called the King of the Jungle, and so, and through I can't speak. Depictions and art throughout history, you see this lion is like a fierce, of brave and proud bearing, and it's associated with of regalness. I did the lettering. Like I said, you can't really see the lettering there. With my hand and stuff, it's kind of getting worn down. It's really hard to read. So, let's talk about the unicorn. When I think unicorns, I think of young girls and rainbows and these cute animals that are seen as majestic and magical creatures. My Little Pony being an example is a good one. So let's just talk about the unicorn as it was seen back in the 17th century. So it's an imaginary animal. They never existed. And the way that the article I read it from was seen, so it says a head and body of a horse and the legs of a female deer. And the tail of a lion and a single spiral horn. I always thought that was, I think in our views, not seen like that. It's, a horse with a horn is pretty much how I always imagine, or pony with a horn. So, and prior to the unicorn coming over to Great Britain, so England, Scotland, it was known in the ancient Chinese and Indian cultures. And also, it was said that the unicorns were smaller. So, once again, get out of your head these big horses with horns. Let's just try to forget that. And they were fast, and how did they describe? They were fleet on foot. And it was really hard for hunters to catch them. It makes sense. I think if I were to make up an imaginary creature, it wouldn't be something big and magical. It would be small and quick. You could never catch them or see them with your eyes. Or, get glimpses of them. I'm going to read this, and it's not written it's written in English, but it's not written in wording that I would associate with modern day English. So, it was written for Norman Bestiary. I'll put that up here. And I'm going to say the last name. I'll put the name of the author and stuff. La Claire in 1210. So it says, this is how you would catch it. They would, in short, ensnare it, go for a young girl whom they know well to be a virgin. It's always a virgin and it's always a young girl. Imagine, I don't want to get into that right now. Then they make her sit and at a lair. Straight to her it comes at once, and her lap it crouches down. We're talking about the unicorn. With the girl it sports, so much that in her lap it falls asleep to be caught. So they're using a young girl. I imagine anywhere between 8 and 12. I'm going to guess with my knowledge of that time period. Alright, almost done here. Thank you for staying by. Okay, so back to so lions and unicorns have been seen to have a very antagonistic relationship. They don't like each other. They fight a lot. And more to its enemies. It's in Alice in Wonderland Through the Looking Glass. It says that Alice meets a unicorn and a lion after a fight and gives them plum cake in reference to the poem, the one that I read to you earlier. And a unicorn is also depicted on the spire, or both of them. I should have read this more. It's depicted on the spire of St. George. Also, it's a departure from the Herdalic norm that the crown has created, or imagery, and the guys of the Roman Empire, and also these two are also depicted, like, are symbolism of as enemies of Scotland and England. So let me know what you think. I always find that, I gotta be honest, I think it's been about 8 years now that when I first found out that the national animal for Scotland was the unicorn, I thought it was a joke. I find this symbolism, and that this poem, Scotland being a very proud nation, not being the greatest fans of England, picking the unicorn when England is the lion. And I think that's kind of a jab at them in a very subtle way. But I think the unicorn also represents Scotland and the Scottish people being stubborn, but also a very powerful creature still. Also, can you see that right here? When I was doing the gesso hairbrush, I didn't catch it, and now it's firmly in there. Texture is usually not that bad of a brush hair if the background's dark. This is so light. I don't know, it's because I have lights on it. That's like an eyesore. So, like I said, let me know what your thoughts down below. Anything else you'd like me to cover? I just find this topic very interesting. And I will see you next time. Bye!